Hello and welcome to this Python tutorial on convolutional neural network. So again, I have to say congratulations because you've built your first deep learning model in the previous section, an artificial neural network, and as you understood in the intuition tutorials, a convolutional neural network is just an artificial neural network on which you use this convolution trick to add some convolutional layers. And why do we use this convolution trick? It's to preserve the spatial structure in images and therefore to be able to classify some images. So you got the point. Convolutional neural networks are great deep learning models for computer vision to classify some images, some photographs, or even some images in some videos. So in this section, we are not going to solve any business problem as we used to do in the previous sections, but we are simply going to solve an image classification problem where our goal will be to classify some images and tell for each image the class of the image. And so we're going to work on a very simple image classification problem. We will have some images of cats and dogs, and we will train a convolutional neural network to predict if the image is a photo of a dog or of a cat. So right now some of you might be thinking that it's not very important to predict if an image is the photo of a cat or of a dog, but the key thing to understand here is that we'll have a folder full of images. These images will be some images of cats and dogs, but once we build our convolutional neural network model, you will simply need to change the images of cats and dogs in the folder and replace them by the images you want to work with. For example, if there are any doctors in this course, well, you'll be able to replace these cats and dogs images by some medical images for which you have to predict the category it belongs to. So, for example, if you are working with brain images and you have to predict if this brain image contains a tumor or not, well, provided you know the answers of many observations, like thousands of observations, then you'll be able to train a convolutional neural network to predict if some new brain image contains a tumor, yes or no. So I'm not a doctor here, so I hope I'm not telling things that don't make sense, but I know that deep learning is used in medicine for medical imaging, and I also know they use convolutional neural networks to accelerate cancer research, as we can see on this article right here. So that's the point. We are working on very simple images of cats and dogs, but then you'll be able to replace them by whatever images you want if you need to predict some categories for your images. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is prepare our work environment for our convolutional neural network, because you're going to see that things are going to change compared to what we used to work with earlier. Because remember, so far in this course, the datasets we used to work with were tables. Tables containing some independent variables and one dependent variable. And now we have some images. So we need to do some image preprocessing to be able to input these images in our convolutional neural network. So how can we do that? Well, first, let's set the right folder as working directory. So we need to go to File, Explore. Then we go to our Deep Learning A to Z folder. Right now it is on my desktop like last time. So we double click on it. Right now we're still in volume 1, supervised deep learning, so we open it. And this time we are in part 2, convolutional neural networks. So let's go inside, and after the CNN intuition lectures that you had with Kirill, we are now ready to build the CNN, and therefore we want to choose this folder here. Section 8, building the CNN, and here we go. That's the folder we want to set as working directory. Make sure that you have the dataset folder, and I will explain what it is in the next tutorial. Okay, and now to set this folder as working directory, we need to click on this tool button here, and then we click on Set Console Working Directory. Here we go. Now we are ready to start building our convolutional neural network. So let's start doing this in the next tutorial, and until then, enjoy deep learning.